What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today it's Sunday, so we're doing our weekly Q&A session. If you've got a question you would like to see me potentially answer next week, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. So something I noticed yesterday after I did my double video day, was that we actually put up 500 videos on this YouTube channel already. 500 videos. That's ridiculous. That is insane. I can't believe we lasted that long. I can't believe we've put up consecutive videos every single day. Holy cow, that is a long time to be doing anything. Anyway, as far as what we're looking at a little bit of our Prison of Elders gameplay. And this is just the standard Prison of Elders. This isn't the Challenge of Elders. It's the brand new matchmaking version. But I kind of think that this matchmaking version, especially if you have two random people in it, might actually be more challenging than the Challenge of Elders, at least this week. We'll have to wait and see what that leads in the future, if it happens to be exactly the same feeling as future iterations of the Challenge of Elders come out. Anyway, let's jump into our Q&A session. We've got Bubble Flubble asking if I think the Vex is going to be coming back. So if you would have asked me back whenever the Taken King was first coming out, back in September, if I thought that by now the Vex Mythoclast and the Necrochasm would be out, I would have bet for sure that they were. These were pretty much the go-to guns. These were pretty much the things that everybody was striving for. Not that they were necessarily the greatest. Obviously, Vex was the best of the best whenever it came out, and Necrochasm was pretty much the worst of the worst whenever it came out. But still, this is why people did raids to begin with, to get the Vex and to get the Necrochasm. You wanted these guns. These were status symbol type guns. And the fact that we don't have these yet in year 2 really is a head scratcher for me. I really thought for sure that these, of all guns, would be ones that Bungie would want to make sure that you keep, as far as remembrances and reminders of everything that you did back in year 1, everything that you did and strived for in year 1, continuing on to year 2. These guns were no-brainer additions for me. The fact that they're not around really makes me scratch my head, and I can only kind of think about one thing. It only makes sense that the reason that they're not around is because they are primary weapons with burns. I can't think of any other reason why these aren't there. And even that isn't a really great reason, because we have the Zalo Supercell. But maybe they figure if they have too many weapons like that people would only want to be using those exotic weapons. I don't know. I can't think of any other reason. Can you think of any reason why you think that the Vex and the Necrochasm aren't in year 2 yet? I don't know. I do think that they're going to be coming at some point. Maybe, though I'm feeling a little bit less sure about that right now. But I still think that Vex and Necrochasm should make an appearance back in the game. It makes sense. Also, the Vex received an update with the April update. Of course, it wasn't a good one. It received something like a 13% damage nerf, which is absolutely ridiculous. It was basically made to offset the stability increase that all fusion rifles got. Yeah, I am not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of this micromanagement of weapons, and definitely not a fan of nerfs to weapons, especially weapons that aren't even a part of the actual meta in the game right now. So, yikes, poor Vex. Anyway, moving on to question number 2, we've got Positive Vibes asking about if I could create an exotic weapon or armor, what would I do? So I was thinking about this a little bit, and something that I think that would be cool for a weapon that is a primary weapon would be a bullet hose type weapon that has a void burn. A void burn, yes, a void burn, because I do like my weapons that have burns, and I don't think we have any auto rifles that are of the bullet hose variety aside from the Necrochasm. So something like that, along with perks that are similar to the super good advice. I think that would be pretty fun to see. What I was basically thinking of was an anti-bad juju. So the bad juju is amazing for mobbing. You can basically never reload that gun, you can mob through enemies constantly, but whenever it comes time for bosses, it kind of falls behind a little bit because you're not getting the benefit of all its perks. So for this weapon, it's kind of like the anti-version, just like how the first curse and the last word are anti-versions. In this weapon, you'll be facing bosses and constantly be able to mow through them as far as your ammo is concerned, because you won't need to reload at all. Anybody that's used the super good advice knows that you really never need to reload that gun. You just fire and fire and fire, and I thought that these would be awesome for bosses or Vex Minotaurs, things that don't have critical hit points, so you basically don't have a way of increasing the damage. This would be a way of actually increasing the damage on something like that, because you wouldn't have to worry about the downtime of reloading. Thought that would be a little bit of fun. Also, having counterbalance would be really nice, and making sure that it had stability. Something else I'd like to see on some guns is an ability to swap between weapon elements on the fly. I know we had the Murmur that used to be able to do that, but if you wanted to use that ability, you had to go into your menu, pick the gun up, swap nodes, and then go back into battle, and you know how long that ends up taking. I'd rather have a hot button that I could just flip on at the heat of the moment. Moving on to our next question, we've got Cam Does COD asking if shotgunning is going to be back with the sniper rifle nerfs. And I'll say that whenever I first heard about the sniper rifle nerfs, I actually thought that sniper rifles were going to be more popular, at least in the highest tier gameplay like Trials of Osiris, mainly because of the changes to the revive mechanic. I think the revive timer, the revive overshield, all those things work significantly in sniper rifles' favor. And after using some sniper rifles running around, not necessarily in Crucible just yet, I haven't played a ton of Crucible yet since the update. There's been so many other things to actually be doing. But from watching some streams on the Trials of Osiris, I don't see any lack of sniper rifles there. Sniper rifles absolutely 100% dominate that meta like no other gun, and I don't see any changes with this particular nerf. I don't think that they're really hurt at all by the changes to stuff like the short gaze sight or the snapshot zoom or anything. I think good snipers are going to be just fine, probably not noticing much of a difference at all. So I think snipers are just fine. Chances are they're probably still the strongest option that there is in Trials of Osiris. They're pretty beastly. They are ridiculously beastly, and that's why the 1,000-yard stare is the ultimate killing machine in the Trials of Osiris. So moving on to our title question, it comes from two forward thinkers in KSigKid and Dylan. They're basically both asking about my opinions on this April update. So a very good question to go ahead and answer, and what I'll say is that for the most part, I've really enjoyed my time with this. Basically, anytime I have something to strive for, that carrot on a stick, I'm having a ton of fun. And right now, there are many different activities that I can jump into and get worthwhile rewards. I've been running heroic strikes whenever I haven't been in a group, just to see if I can get anything just to bump up my light level. I'm also running around in the challenge of elders trying to get those exotic weapons that will not drop for me. They simply will not drop for me. But eventually they will, and then I'll be excited and I'll get to run around with those things, the Lord of Wolves, the Queenbreaker's Bow, and the Drake's Promise. Looking forward to finally getting those. Even whenever my Nightfall rewards aren't great or good at all, they're still useful for infusion fuel. So it seems like everything you do, including picking up the faction packages, the Vanguard packages, your Gunsmith packages, picking up everything helps to increase your light level and helps to make you feel like you're progressing in the game. This is by far the most rewarding Destiny experience that we have ever had. You've never been able to get rewards that actually bumped you up constantly this often in the game from doing pretty much every activity. So that's great. That is beyond amazing. My one question and my one concern is, what kind of staying power is this actually going to have? Whenever I finally get my characters up to 335, how inclined will I be to run around in all this stuff? Because there are people that already have 3 characters at 335. They rushed their way through, they got all of the rewards they could because they really wanted to get their characters up to 335 and be max. And that's fine, that's the way that they wanted to play the game. But how inclined are they going to be to jump into any of these different activities? That's a little bit tricky to know. I can't personally know that just yet, not after 1 week. We're going to have to wait and see as things roll around. For me, I'm not 100% positive if there's going to be a lot of staying power in this update or not. Is there any other hidden secrets? That would be really amazing. I'm really hoping that there are some more hidden secrets that we don't know about yet. But we're just going to have to wait and see there. Anyway, guys and gals, if you've got a question for next week, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your prison of elders, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Update time. My update.